I was wrong about healthcare crisis. There is a healthcare crisis in retirement, and I was wrong. I apologize to you. You should never listen to me because I just steering you wrong, man. Oh, where do I go to get my dignity back? Where do I go? I mean, look, here's this article from USA Today, and they're definitely to be worthy to be trusted for their media reporting. And here's Medora Lee writing that here's why you may miss out on the great wealth transfer. And because here we got Judy and David Kongsak, they're going to be nearly out of money because of healthcare costs in retirement. And then we scroll down here, and we got this lady right here, Kathy Kerstead. She's 64, and her husband is 62, Jose, and she got laid off from Amazon. So now they got to pay $1,500 a month in Cobra premiums. And Cobra is actually cheaper than her Obamacare stuff. And then she says, this lady, she can't find work. She consults part-time. She hasn't been able to find a full-time work because she believes due to her age. I don't know why Jose's not working. I don't know. Don't say that. All I know is it's heartbreaking that she can't help her daughter out for her wedding. And then we got this survey right here. Let me show you. One-third of Medicare beneficiaries, including more than half under the age of 65, say it's difficult to afford health care. One-third of Medicare beneficiaries, that means 2 out of 3, don't have difficulty affording health care. And of that one-third, a half are under the age of 65. You don't get Medicare if you're under the age of 65 unless you're on disability. So that would kind of inherently make sense. If you're on disability, you have a hard time affording health care because theoretically you're not working. I'm just throwing it out there. Seems odd to me that we're going to throw people under 65 with people over 65 and say this is the healthcare crisis in retirement. That's kind of weird to me, but okay, let's keep going. And then they got a survey from the Commonwealth Fund. They polled 7,873 people. Look, they're a nonprofit, and they're just focused on healthcare issues. Not the Commonwealth Fund. They're a legit nonprofit focusing on healthcare issues, not bipartisan for sure. More than 20%, including 40% of those under the age of 65, say healthcare expenses make it harder for them to afford food and utilities. Well, again, 40% of those people are under the age of 65. They're on disability. And it sucks. That sucks. If you're on disability, that's a fact. But 20%, that means 80% saying healthcare costs are not making it harder to afford food and utilities. And of that 20%, 40% of those people are under the age of 65, so they're not at normal retirement age. But let's just take a look at the Commonwealth Fund, shall we? Check this out. You may not be familiar with the Commonwealth Fund, but I am, all right, because healthcare was a big deal for my dad's business when I was going to college. I used to courier for him back and forth. Literally we live in Alexandria, just hop and skip down the George D.W. Parkway to D.C. I take the Key Bridge, 14th Street Bridge, I can't remember, and deliver health care. The Health Benefits Report is my dad's newsletter for health insurance. And health, we call it patient power as opposed to bureaucracy power. Anyway, so I'm very familiar. They want to achieve universal coverage, does the Commonwealth Fund. That sounds great. How does the Commonwealth Fund want to achieve universal coverage? Well, they promote high quality, equitable healthcare that achieves better access, improved quality, and greater efficiency, particularly among the society's most vulnerable, which people of color are apparently society's most vulnerable. So if you're a person of color, do you like people like the Commonwealth Fund saying you're very, very vulnerable? Does that make you feel like, let's see. Wait, right here. Check this out. A commitment to being anti-racist. They extend not only the research agenda, but our grant making, our communications, but everything, hiring practice, the way we can be anti-racist. Interesting. And the Commonwealth Fund Commission was established in 2022 to articulate a vision for a truly national public health system. A national public health system. Very, very interesting. So what does a national public health system mean? It's socialized medicine. It's the National Health Service system in England and whatever the crazy thing they have in Canada. So do you really think these guys are going to be giving quality surveys that show that most people are happy with their health care? I thought Obamacare was going to solve that anyway. I thought you can keep your doctor if you want to. So any institution that promotes a single payer is always going to find it's kind of problems with our current health system. So they're always going to look at whatever that lady's name was, 64, who's got a 62-year-old husband who's not working. I don't know why. Maybe he can't. I don't know, but he's 62. and she can't get a full-time job to afford health care. That's what my wife just did, man. My wife just got a full-time job. It sucks. She's got to wake up early working for the school district, but she wanted health care. She wanted quality health care, and we got it now. We're not making much money, but it's paying for her health care. It sucks. Guess what? Put your big boy pants on and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. Now, these other people had a stroke. That sucks, dude. There's always people that are going to be left underinsured in terms of how much it costs. And I hate to say it, but that's why you saved your money, to spend down those assets. I'm not saying I'm not sympathetic. I am. I'm just saying, wait. So we're going to use this case of the 84-year-old husband who had a stroke and they got to pay a lot of money for health care. Look, I get it. It sucks. But you can't indict the entirety of the system because of these two people. Then again, that doesn't make any sense, but that's what these guys do. The single payer people, the nationalized healthcare people, socialized medicine, they always say, look at that guy over there. Like, who is it, Thomas Sowell? Someone said, maybe it wasn't Thomas Sowell. Maybe it was, I don't know. Some guy said, socialism is always judged on its promises, whereas capitalism is always judged on its performance. So the national healthcare people are always saying, look, it'd be great if we just had a socialized medicine. Then you're looking at England, you're looking at Canada, you're like, yeah, good luck waiting for your hip surgery there, guy. You're in pain? Yeah, you have to wait. So let's keep going here. These aren't right-wingers. And let's look at the board of directors. There it was. I was looking for this the other day on the live stream. Let's look. First thing that came to my mind, Sheila Burke. Sheila Burke. You guys might not remember Sheila Burke, but I do. She was the chief of staff of Bob Dole. I remember when I used to courier for my dad again. My dad said Bob Dole, even though he was running for president, and because Bob Dole was the Senate Majority Leader at that point, everything went through Sheila Burke. And she was not a right-wing revolutionary at all. She's a big government Republican, and there are many big government Republicans. That's why Trump is our weapon to seize the control of the Republican Party from big government Republicans. We shouldn't say big government, a uniparty Republican. Sheila Burke was not one of our kind. She's just not. When I say one of our kind, it's the right-wing kind, the populist party. She's a uniparty, man. That's all there is to it. Swamp. I couldn't believe it. I said, oh, Sheila Burke's on there. The only reason they got her is because she was the chief of staff under Bob Dole. But she ran everything in that freaking Senate, man. Sheila Burke did. Now, just looking, I was like Hamburg, Maureen, Blunt. I was like, how come they don't show the pictures of these guys? How come they don't show the pictures of these guys? Because they're so diverse. Yet they don't show the pictures. Yet they're going to show the pictures of, if we go back over here, our staff. And the staff is quite diverse. Not a lot of men, relatively speaking. There's a president right there, big lib. Lots of white ladies for sure. Pretty diverse staff, but they don't show the board of directors. I thought that was interesting. Why don't you show the board of directors? I thought you're committed to anti-racism. Kind of strange. Let's keep going. They got their state health equity scorecard. Health equity. Achieving racial and ethnic equity in healthcare. Oh my goodness. Dude, you trust these guys to give you the freaking straight shot? You don't think they don't take their surveys and they're like, how can we bias this survey? If it's about retirement, why the hell are you putting freaking people on disability in here? That's just stupid. All right, so then you're going to say, but Josh, don't you know that healthcare is the cause of major bankruptcies? And we're going to show you in this book right here, You Can Retire on Social Security. We're going to quickly disabuse you of that notion that, what's her name? Elizabeth Warren had written about in 2005. And we're going to say it's just not true. So she had written, let me show you what I'm talking about. Chapter that medical bankruptcy is killing the American middle class. And it's all a lie. Book. 2/3 of people who file for bankruptcy cite medical issues as a key contributor to their financial downfall. Where are they getting that from? From Elizabeth Warren and her research with a Marxist doctor at, I think it was Harvard. It might have been this guy Betancourt, because that guy Betancourt is the president of the, I don't think it was though, but there's another guy, a Marxist doctor from Harvard that they cited this thing. And what I say is, in my book, their findings have taken a life of its own, scaring countless Americans, almost like a Stephen King novel. I cite what they say in their study about people filing for bankruptcy, but then we cite the reality of it all. Let's read what a law professor who now sits on the U.S. Civil Rights Commission, Gail Heriot, I'm not sure how to pronounce her, Heriot, I think University of San Diego. And she goes, while the study takes the position that 54% of all bankruptcies have a medical cause and 46% of all bankruptcy have a major medical cause, it is important to know that only 28.3% of all debtors questioned for the study cited illness or injury as a reason for their own bankruptcies. Only 28%. So that means 72% didn't even cite healthcare, any kind of healthcare for their own bankruptcy. And even that figure is bloated. Interesting. Elizabeth Warren et al. Gave debtors an extensive list of possible reasons for their bankruptcies, and they ran check all that apply to your situation: job problems, illness or injury, divorce or family breakup, victim of fraud, crime, addition of a family member, gambling, employer's business failed, death of a family member, all these things. The 28% was obtained from the result of this question. So they had 16 different things. And if you just checked illness or injury as one of the 16, then you were thrown in there to say 54% cited having a medical cause was a cause of bankruptcy. And any bankruptcy of a debtor who cited illness or injury or of self or a family member is counting as having a major medical case, regardless of how many other reasons were checked. The study, of course, fails to make that clear. So you can have a gambling addiction, and the gambling's putting you up, but you're like, man, but I also had a sneeze, so I'm going to put that as in there too, and they're going to say your cause of your bankruptcy it wasn't gambling; it was a major medical cause. Some may even have checked all 16 reasons. Of course, such bankruptcies were then listed as having a major medical issue. Kind of reminds you of people who died with something back a couple years ago. They're on a motorcycle, they died from going too fast, they fell over a hill, they died, and they still got labeled as a you-know-what death. Why? Because they had you-know-what when they got in their autopsy. They said, oh, man, you had you-know-what, so that was your cause of death. And they literally did that, my friends. Anyway, just the whole thing's so freaking stupid. We got, 70 million people in America over 65. I think like 1.2 or something like that are in nursing homes right now. That's it. Now, there are some people who are going to go bankrupt. There are some people who won't be able to leave an inheritance. There are some people who will be like, man, I was living large and now I'm not. As I say all the time, even in the Bible, Jesus said the poor will always be with us. Is that you, though? It could be. The likelihood of that happening to you, not very high, regardless of the Commonwealth Fund, because he's always got an agenda to push for more government, less freedom. That's just a fact. All right, love your thoughts. God bless.